I'm punching my passport to visit the land of maple syrup and snow-capped mountains. Vancouver is a candy house, and I am both Hansel and Gretel nibbling away on a non-binary tour of the most livable city in the world. Let's see how it goes. First things first, let's get some Canadian cash and head to the city on the train. My inner monologue is chanting, I'm in Canada. Justin Trudeau likes me. I like Justin Trudeau.
It's the end of the line here. You become down on your luck in the Maritimes, you can't get a job, that sort of thing. If the community can't come together and take care of you, you head to Quebec and you maybe work on the maple syrup farms or the dairy farms for a little bit. Ontario is also very expensive, so you keep moving west. You end up in the oil sands, which is a great job, but it's an incredibly isolating job. The rest of Canada is really frickin' cold, like minus 30 most of the time in the winter. Vancouver in particular, the rest of BC can get a lot colder. Our winters are fairly moderate. It's gotten a lot colder the past few years due to global warming, but most of the time the coldest it'll get is 0 degrees Celsius.
Cecil's as cool as a Canadian Mountie. Nothing can faze him. Who else could endure my horrible eating habits? Watch me lay into the Caesar like a lioness in the Serengeti.
When I first moved here, I was blown away. I was pretty worried about getting clocked and either attacked or shouted at or something like that, because that was my experience before in Ontario. And here I have no issues. There has been some aggression, so if you're openly queer, there was an anti-trans protest a few weeks ago. Other than that, the day-to-day interactions, I'd say it's absolutely fine. The treatment of queer people is, oh, you're a person, just like anyone else. Most of the things here are nature-based and outdoors-based. There's a whole bunch of trails. They're all accessible by transit, actually, so if you want to go to a mountain, you can hop on a bus. If you want to go to other, cute towns. There's lots of beaches in the area. There's Science World. There's the aquarium, which is, my favorite spot in the city. And there's a bunch of new walking tours as well, which is nice that's taken off.
Cecil gave me a lot to do. I'd better get started. After a quick quad stretch, I grab a Moby bike. It's heavy and ugly, but it gets the job done. Just north of Vancouver proper is Stanley Park. If you're able, you should ride around the perimeter. You'll see some of the most beautiful views, and eventually you'll end up on a beach. As a trans femme, beaches terrify me. A relaxing day can quickly turn into the Battle of the Bulge, if you know what I mean. I felt perfectly safe showing off my food baby and all my other little lady lumps. Once I dry up, I'll have just enough time to visit a local nonprofit. So I'm headed to Community. I'm gonna have them put me to work. Who wants to come to someone else's city and carve their initials into the Coliseum? Instead, I'd rather come and help the locals.
Hello, welcome to Community. Come on up, let me show you around. This is the building we've been in for almost 40 years. Yeah, we're an organization that is services so many people, and it's truly just volunteer run. There's a staff of 14 of us, but we have hundreds of volunteers that help us all year. We can keep on going down this way. So we have a really unique program here where we send free gender-affirming wear. It's for youth, so age 14 to 25 across the province. And we've barely told people, but as soon as people find out, it's our inbox is flooded. But yeah, we can just go through this together. Essentially, we just take an envelope, pack said gender-affirming thing, and then I put some stickers for our address, throw a community pamphlet in there.
We have a list. We have envelopes. We have stickers.
Some stickers.
And we have queer folks in need.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I love it.
It's super, yeah, these are also very expensive. I know, they're fun. There's so many little things that we always learn that people need accessibility things. So people who can't lift their arms up. And then we realize we have to buy ones with zippers on them. Very hard work here. Boom. Wonderful.
There's nothing that warms my heart more than trans supportive groups like these. They're never funded enough. The staff is always struggling to keep up, but they make it work. The celebration of trans joy is far too rare. Just outside of the community office is Davie Street and the unofficial neighborhood. And clean public bathrooms. What is this utopia? Just a short walk away is Little Sisters Bookshop. The original Little Sisters was firebombed 3 times. How's that for queer resilience? It was founded by Jim Diva, who sadly passed away in 2014. I have to get a t-shirt before heading to the plaza of his namesake. So I'm about to meet Glenn, who does the gay tours, the man in the pink hat. He's right behind me.
I love Vancouver. Look at this weather. We're having a beautiful summer. The climate here is wonderful. There are mountains, there is ocean. What's not to love about Vancouver? So my name is Glenn, and I am the proud creator and leader of the Really Gay History Tour, which I lead every week with Forbidden Vancouver Walking Tours. And I lead a weekly tour every Sunday for the public, but also I lead lots and lots of private tours. It really thrills me that I get booked for school groups, including high school groups, not to mention corporations, law firms, architecture firms, church groups, birthday parties. Lots and lots of people really want to hear this history. So I lead this tour multiple times a week, and I'm thrilled to be able to share these stories. I guess I'd like visitors to Vancouver to know that this city has a really important piece of the puzzle to offer to the larger story of queer history across the globe.
With my mind filled with the historical facts, it's time to fill my stomach. Luckily, Mary's on Davie, aka Hamburger Mary's, is nearby. Later in South Vancouver, the Roundhouse Community Center is hosting Queers in Space, an art show featuring trans artists. It's not often you get to see uncensored and uninhibited trans art on display. I'm so happy and a little exhausted. My Airbnb is calling. After an 8-hour power nap, I head to Granville Island to be a proper tourist. Other trans femmes know the perils of finding a public bathroom, especially when you're traveling abroad. Luckily, Vancouver has co-ed bathrooms, all gender bathrooms all over the place. And I was so blessed to find one. I love Vancouver. As I head to Gastown, I start to receive DMs from a mysterious Canadian. We agreed to meet at a bar for poutine and for beers that they make in the basement. Along the way, I stumble into a protest.
The Teaching Support Staff Union at SFU is on strike.
No matter what I do, no matter where I go, I always find myself in a protest. Arwen and I find each other, and I agree not to film her. Would you want a camera in your face after having your insides rearranged? I think not. I don't usually go home with mysterious strangers in other countries, but I can tell Arwen could really use some help. Besides, what is more transgender than making saline solution for a friend's new vagina? So at this point, I doubt you even believe there's another person, but I promise you, to my left, look, there's a mysterious Canadian. We just went and had ice cream, we wrestled a seal in the lake or whatever that was. We climbed a mountain, it was great. This is what I imagine the ideal situation for a trans person in a capitalist society to be. Working a steady job, living in a place where the bartenders are nice to you, and being able to receive gender-affirming healthcare. It sounds kind of boring, but isn't that what we all want? The privilege to live a normal life? Can you imagine that trans people just want to live? It's crazy, isn't it? So this is it. The end of a journey. The end of an era. Oh, Canada, my Canada. I will miss you.